He checking the somebody like he checking the
Yeah,
audio.
Benji. Yeah.
He shows us up and coming.
Yeah, Benji showing up and coming.
Khan, Eric, well, shalom, shalom. We are the brothers of the Great Millstone, the branch here in Chicago. And first and foremost, we want to give all praises, glory, and honor
To Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash.
double honors unto the apostles, double honors unto the elder bishops, and salutations to the 144,000 that are scattered around the four corners of the earth with the rest of the elect among the heathen that look like the heathen. All right? And we're just going to go right into this lesson, open forum, and we're going to start with, the color of the Lord, because people are still having mainly the Edomites, and even some of our own people. And that's an issue that never gets old and never seems to go away. All right, and how Esau then created all these different versions of the Bible and removed, because when you go, because somebody pull up Jeremiah 14:2 in the blue letter, and because when you go to the source of it, the blue letter would be the source going to the Hebrew. It clearly says, Kedar, all right, and Kedar literally means dark skinned, all right. But then you got, because I have one of those JPS, Jewish Publications Bible of the Torah, was that has the Assyrian script, which the kingdom of Judah never used, by the way. All right, the kingdom of Judah used the Phoenician style Hebrew, the Paleo Hebrew. They never used the Assyrian script. They were not in the Assyrian captivity. So the fact that they chose to use that is evidence of them trying to hide the truth. All right, they came with some aftermarket form of Hebrew and tried to implant themselves. All right, that's literally what they did. Some aftermarket Hebrew, and they're still using it to this day, and they're hiding behind it. But the world is, but now you're not ignorant to it anymore because you got the men of the Lord, telling you. But in that JPS Bible, it has, it has like the Jewish publication, Assyrian script on one side, and then it has, the English translation. And when you read the English translation in the JPS, I wish I had it here, it removed the word black. Their skin is black. It completely removed it. But in the same book, right next to it, because every in the blue letter breakdown, right next to it, or you go into the Assyrian script and you go get to the word Kedar, still means dark skin.
Right.
So in English they removed it, but in the actual language it's still there. So these people, Job 13:4, man, they're just liars, man.
Yeah.
All right.
I got the revelation.
Go ahead.
This Revelation 1:1. This is the revelation of Yahushua HaMashiach, which Yahweh gave unto him to show unto his servants things which must surely come to pass, and he sent and signified it by his angel unto his servant John. Jumping down to verse 11.
Yeah, revelation means to reveal. It was going to reveal him who the world ignorant called Jesus Christ really looked like. Which is the real name, Yahweh.
Khan. So jumping down to verse 12, it says,
Yeah, why would the Lord need to reveal himself? In the Bible. He's revealing himself in the last book of the Bible. Actually, he's revealed all through it, but like the elder said, the book of Revelation means to reveal. Why is it a need for him to reveal himself?
well, Revelations 11.
Because he's been lied about. But
Yep, they crucified him.
Right,
They
exactly.
took away his
They
image.
crucified him. Yep. Revelations 11:8. Yep. It says, verse 12, it says, and I turned to see the voice that spake with me, and being turned, I saw 7 golden candlesticks, and in the midst
not
of
9,
Right.
right? Because the Jewish converts from the time of Hyrcanus, from John Hyrcanus, which is the reason why they can say, well, our DNA goes back to Jerusalem. Well, yeah, because you were forced converted. Edomites were forced converted to Judaism, or what they call Judaism today, during the time of John Hyrcanus. So you had Judeans and you had Jewish. They were not the same people. The Jewish were Edomites. So let's make that very, very clear. To any of you who are watching, all right, during the time of the Maccabees, John Hyrcanus, which was a Levite priest, an actual Levite priest, when they were at war with a portion of the Edomites, and when they defeated them, because the Romans were Edomites too, All right. These Edomites were forced to follow the law, statutes, and commandments. And then over time they brought in the Greekish fashion of wearing a hat. That's why they cover up their crown. When the Israelites' crown is supposed to be exposed. The crown, because when you're being born, when they see the top of your head, what do they call it? You're crowning. All right. A king's crown goes here. It don't go on the sides. Where you shave off the top of your head and cover it up with a hat, and let your hair grow, let your sideburns grow down to your chin. That's some retarded shit, man. Right. That's just a handle to hang on to and get beat up. All right? Unmanly. Salakia, brother.
It says, in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with the garment down to the foot, and girth about the paps with a golden girdle.
So he had on a garment similar to the one that I'm wearing now. All right? And it had a border of blue and fringes at the bottom. All right?
And his head and his hair were white like wool.
Which is why we don't wear t-shirts all the same color. All right? Because when any Israelite group is wearing all the same color, all right, and using loud horns, that's evidence of a 501c3 contract. All right? Any group of people who call themselves Israelites, and they're going out with a bullhorn and they're all dressed alike, that's the sign of a 501c3 contract sellout camp. All right, point blank period. All right.
And his head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were a flame of fire, and his feet unto fine brass, as if they burned in the furnace.
So that's like a penny. You've ever seen an old penny, right? And then if you took that penny and threw it in a hot stove, when something gets burned on the grill, the grill gets all soot. It gets very dark. Go ahead.
Says, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in the furnace.
Right. And last I checked, people's feet is typically, unless they have leprosy, it's the same color as their face.
Right.
The arms and their hands. And then there's a scripture that even says that his arms and hands were like in color to brass. The same thing. All right? Go ahead, brother.
It says, and his voice is the sound of many waters.
So that very powerful, carrying, deep voice, kind of like that Jake who wrote the Underworld series.
Right. Not some nasally bitch ass voice like he saw.
Khan. Some call me back Allison voice. Nerdy ass. Right.
I have some Elder Ride left the scripture live chat Revelation 11:8. It says, and their dead bodies shall lie in the streets of the great city, which the great city is Babylon, aka America, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified, meaning the exile. Images look like this red dog. Have everybody believing that's what the Lord looked like.
I got the precept out of Malcolm quoted. It's Daniel 10:6. His body also was like the bearer. You can get right here, Matthias. His body was like the beryl, and his face as the appearance of lightning, and his eyes as lamps of fire, and his arms and feet like in color to polished brass, and the voice of his words like the voice of a multitude. Same description. He's a dark-skinned man with a deep voice. All right, a Barry White type voice. Jake got them deep voices. Not every Jake, but Jake be having deep voices. Rolla, where your iPhone charger at?
I got something.
You dying. Let me see your portable.
You finished?
Yes, I am. Slide.
All right. Well, this is Hebrews chapter 7 and 14. It says, for it is evident that our Lord sprang out of the tribe of Judah, which tribe Moses spake nothing concerning priesthood. But the point is that it is evident that our Lord sprang out of the tribe of Judah. Well, here in Songs of Solomon, all right, Solomon also sprang out of the tribe of Judah.
That's right.
And Solomon said this, he said, Solomon chapter 1, verse 5. It says, I am black, but comely, O ye daughters of Jerusalem, as the tents of Kedar, as the curtains of Solomon. And this black right here is, because it says, I am black, but comely, right? So you go into this word black, which comes from the Hebrew H7838, which is and the root word of that is H7835, which is shachar, which means to be black of skin. All right, it says to be black of skin. Okay, and so that's why it says as the curtains. All right, as the what did it say? As the tents, or I am, black like this, or I'm black like that. You know what I'm saying? And then it says as of skin. And so here it is, Solomon, who sprang out of the tribe of Judah, all right, saying that he's of a dark, complexion. So our Lord and Savior also sprang out of the tribe of Judah, who could be dark in complexion, anywhere from a very dark brown to a light brown, like myself.
It said right, it's tawny. And if we went back to the 1500s, you and I will be called tawny.
Right.
All right, which meant light brown. All right, we will be called tawny.
As opposed to
as opposed to someone who was called swarthy.
Exactly.
But they were considered in the same family.
Exactly.
All right, when you look at the color scheme of people, I actually have a chart that got the color line of people, and they got tawny from tawny to swarthy, and it had basically all the nations of the world were mixed in there.
So,
and then the only people that were sitting out there in the pale and the red was Esau.
So you
Right.
and I will be called tawny.
Who will be called tawny?
Yahweh Shai will be called swarthy.
He will be called swarthy. So Pops, you gotta call him Tawny. He ain't yellow ass.
That's it.
Because basically all this aftermarket bullshit that Esau's doing is all to discredit from what we really are and what people really are.
And Pops will be called swarthy.
He will be called swarthy.
Crispy
I
swarthy.
read a book. I got a book at home. I got a book at home that refers to the Scots in Scotland as the swarthy hordes of the Scots. And it talked about how King James came out of those swarthy hordes.
Yeah.
All right,
King
and
James.
then what's his name? Benjamin Franklin. Ben Franklin solidifies it in that letter that he wrote. The observation of the something of mankind.
Yeah, the majority of the world's
And he said in there that the majority of the world was tawny and swarthy, and then he basically said that the Germans, the Scots, the Irish, the Spaniards, the Italians were swarthy, were wholly so. That's what Ben Franklin wrote in 1751. So just because you Edomites and you dumbass niggers, right? You Dans, dumb ass niggas, you tribal Dan ass niggas, not actual Dans, but dumb ass niggas. You don't want to, especially you Danite Christians. You dumb ass nigga Christians. That's exactly what I'm gonna call you, because that's exactly what you are. And you're intimidated by the truth. And the blind ass 501c3 sellout pastors who are all gonna get put to death according to the scriptures for teaching all those lies. And then they try to, when people wake up to the fact of who we are, they're trying to make it a cult, or come up with all this madness instead of embracing. There has to be a mass awakening. If the message of Christianity was for the whole world, where's the awakening at then?
God.
Who needs to wake up if the Lord loves everybody?
Right.
You see, it makes absolutely no sense. Zero, none whatsoever, man.
You can be accepted no matter how wicked you
You're right. And so where's the big awakening?
Right.
You know what I mean? How do you take the whole world and make it match or mingle among Ezekiel the 37th chapter? You know the answer to that, y'all?
Say that again.
Exactly. how do you take the whole world and apply Ezekiel the 37th chapter to them? All right?
It doesn't make sense.
None whatsoever.
No.
All right? The whole world didn't get scattered.
Right.
All right? There are people still in their lands where they were during the time of the Lord. The Cushites still know they're Cush. All right? The Indians know that they're Elam. The Arabs know that they're Ishmael. All right?
Yeah, even the Iranians, they know they go back.
They
to,
know that they're Elam.
They know they go back to Persia, which goes back to Elam or Elam. They know that. These Hamites know that they Hamites. Ishmael knows that they Ishmael. Esau, no, they Esau.
Yeah, God.
Yeah.
All right, and I got this image. I put in the info. I put in the regular Akim room. I posted the image. I'm gonna short on this, and this is from 1834 thesaurus. I'm gonna put it on your camera for yourself. So, actually, it's gonna be
That's right there. Got it.
No, it's an Akim room. Akim room.
Salaki.
The spirit.
Yep, that the 1834 thesaurus. All right, and in this thesaurus, you see Negro. Oh, my phone. It's on low power mode. All right, you see Negro, and it says what? Colored people, blacks, blackamoor, Jim Crow, darky. Then it says the image of God. And under that you see swarthy.
Wow,
1834,
You need to
huh?
send that to me. Baba Kashad, yeah,
Yeah.
that goes harder than the Winston Simplified Dictionary 1929, 1931.
Oh well, yeah. Yeah, going back to 1834. You see,
You know?
Yeah. That's why they want Jake to read.
So
Right.
Yep.
So they're very aware of this. Sambo, Ebony, wow. Jim Crow, slang, U.S. And remember, and then it says darky. Darky also goes back to dusky.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to remember one of that's swarthy. They replace swarthy with dusky, all right, and then they replace dusky with black.
Well, they try to
When they
make.
started saying black, because that's why you still hear niggas say yo dusty ass today. They were trying to say dusky, all right. They didn't even know where that came from. Right, because that's what the so-called white man was completely trying to hide who we were. And Africans, all right, were never called Negroes. Never. It never said Africans for sale. It always said Negroes because the Africans, for the most part, were the ones that were selling the Negroes. Two different races of people.
Yeah.
All right, and you see swarthy in there too.
Yep.
Because Negro would just really replace the Hebo or Evo.
Exactly. And then those images that they used with to say the selling of Negroes, those weren't even Negroes. Those were people who were native to the Americas.
Yep.
And then they just blackened them out, and so those were native guides. So that's another reason how you know that was a time when you couldn't tell a Negro from a Native American. All right?
What is?
Because they both were swarthy and tawny. And the only difference was in them was that the natives, in some cases, had a different texture of hair, and that was because they were in the Assyrian captivity, when the so-called Negroes were over there mixing and mingling with them Hamites. It's as simple as that. All right, but Israel has always been a mixed and mingled people with different textures of hair. Always have been.
Yep.
All right, you got to remember the Israelites. They came. The 12 tribes, or the 12 patriarchs, came out of 4 different women, man. All right, women that were from the east, mainly from West Asia,
Yep.
what they fraudulently and falsely call the Middle East. All right, there's no such thing in the Middle East. They made that up. All right, from Turkey. Can we get a map? Can you put up a map?
Well, I'll say one thing. If you look at the old,
The old world.
Let's put up a
if
map.
you look at the
of
old murals,
what they refer to as the Middle East of Asia.
if you look at the old murals, a lot of people had different features, different hair texture, but they were just still
Yeah.
dark. They were just dark.
As a matter of fact, is one Jake. You see one of them sheep herders that I always see that make me think of Rapaya. All right, so that whole region right there, where you see Yemen, Saudi Arabia, Yemen, Jeddah, all the way up to Jordan, Israel, Lebanon, Syria, and Turkey. All right, that whole region is West Asia.
Yep.
All right, Tehran, Iran, from Georgia, Istanbul, Turkey, Syria, Lebanon, Israel, Jordan, Iraq, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia. That is Western Asia.
My grandfather said
All right.
Africa's still Western.
The borderline between Western Asia and Africa. All right, there is no such thing as a Middle East. And what they did was they made up that term in the 1800s, and then they tried to make Middle East an actual nationality. and say, oh, well, they were Middle Eastern. No, they're Western Asia. They all from all the way across to Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, all the way up to the Bering Strait in Russia.
Right.
That was all Asia.
That's right.
Point blank, period. Always has been. All right? That body of water is not separating. The Persian Gulf doesn't separate, they're still in one landmass.
Hey, Salak.
You lying pieces of shit. Because I like you, brother, I actually have a map of Asia. And guess what? Everything that I just named, Lebanon, Syria, Jordan, Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, is all included in Asia. It was never called the Middle East. They made that shit up in the 1800s.
When I was a teenager, my paternal grandfather told me that Africa was called also West Asia. It wasn't called Africa. It was known also as Asia too.
Well, that's not true though. That's not on the maps anyway.
Right.
Africa was always, Africa. I mean, whatever it was called before, the land of Ham. All right. But one thing's for sure though is that the sons of Ham stretched all the way up to where Turkey was. They went all the way up into to where with Lebanon, and they were all up in there, man. Them Hamites.
Yeah, even Israel, that was called the land of Canaan.
Yeah, so Canaan, And even though Canaan was in West Asia, they were still provinces of Africans. So maybe that's what he meant.
Okay.
You still had the sons of Africa were all in there. Okay, they were all up in that area, man, until Ishmael took it over. Because Egypt now is full of Ishmaelites for the most part. Yeah. All right. I mean, you got you still got some Hamites. You got a lot of Edomites in there. But the people who control Egypt today is Ishmael, and they're not they're not the Philistines and the real Palestinians.
Right.
Right. The real Palestinians were Africans, the sons of Ham.
Well, that's the spirit because of Palestinian tried to come out of camp yesterday, tried to tell me he's a Philistine. Like, no, man, you ain't no Philistine.
No, he's not a Philistine at all. Right. See, that's a lie. Matter of fact, get the definition of Ham. Baba Kashah, don't we have a Zondervan Dictionary Bible around
there? It should be one over there.
Yeah, it should be over there.
Oh, it's right there. It's right there at the bottom.
Yeah.
The bottom,
Yeah.
right here. Yep, that's it. Although I actually have the definition.
Yeah, I can say it by heart too, but I just wanted to put it in the camera.
Book of Yaki.
I think we all know that definition at this point.
Right.
It's seared in our mind.
Ham, the youngest son. No,
Don't say it, man.
It's Hellenist. Alright, we're gonna go to.
Matter of fact, if you put in ASA1, the map that I'm talking about might pop up, and it's going to show you exactly. It's going to show you because it's a teacher's map that I actually have. It's a learning tool, and it was just through the Lord that I stumbled upon it, and I ordered it. I ordered it off of Amazon, and they sent that shit right to me, and I often use it.
You found it.
Go
ahead and read it, brother. It's ASA1. That might pull it up.
This is Ham.
No. You put S. ASA. Details, brother. Details. Asia. ASA1. And then give a space and put in map of Asia, and it might pop up.
Yeah, that's the wrong spot. You gotta put in the search bar.
Go start a new one.
Give him 8 weeks.
Start a whole
Right.
one.
Yeah, right there.
But go ahead and read it, brother, while he's doing that.
This is Ham in the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary, right? Compact. Says Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes, but the Egyptians, Ethiopians, Libyans, and Canaanites. See Genesis 10, 6-20. This is his indecency when his father was laid drunken, brought a curse upon Canaan. The descendants of the original Hamites. Perfect. Okay. Good.
Time. Not the Negroes.
Not the Negroes.
Con.
There it is. I just found it, brother.
Is it that one?
It's called here. See, I went and found it on Google again. I mean, See this one? Asia map. Painless learning Asia map. Put that in, see if it pops up.
Well, the back of that zombie bike, they try to use that,
Matter of fact, that's it, right? No, that's
Oh,
not
okay.
it. That's not it.
It kind of look like that.
Paint, yeah, they kind of look like that, right?
Painkiller. That's
We'll
what-
just talk
Painless.
while y'all get that. They try to use that
Map of Asia.
zombie
Painless
Bible.
learning map of Asia, Slovakia.
No, it's on good. They try to use that zombie Bible dictionary term to try to cover up the fact that Egyptians were dark skinned, but it backfired on them.
It backfired on them.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that was actually they were trying to support the Hamite theory, and it backfired on them. That's what they were trying to do.
Mhm.
They were trying to say that they were dark, but they weren't Negroes.
Mhm.
And it backfired. That's it. That's it. So that one on the far corner, on the far left, right. Everything colored is Asia.
You see that painkiller, that Netflix painkiller?
Check it out. Check it out.
Check it out.
You see that? There you go.
Damn.
It's showing. So it's showing you Asia, and go further to the left, brother.
You said what's okay?
This whole map. This is the map of Asia. Guess what's in there? You see that?
Go down.
No, he got it. That's it. So they cut. This is
Wow.
a school, right? When I ordered it, I got this sitting on my. I've probably done about 2 or 3 videos using it already. But yeah, there it is, man. So all of that, do you see that in the land of Israel? It's west. That's Asia. All right. You got Western Asia and Asia, and they called it. Matter of fact, they even called it Asia Minor. All right. And then they decided in the 1800s, and what you have to understand is that if you just stop moving it, brother, just put it, center it, bring it back down some. All right. If you went, bring it down a little bit more. Okay, so stop right about there. If you were to go,
Copper, move that vacuum out the way, Baba Tron. There we go.
if you were to go, all right, to upward into on a northeasterly plane, you would run into Britain. You have something called the East India Shipping Company, all right, and it was ran out of Britain, and then it was that's where they colonized India, and so halfway between India and Britain was like the land of Israel and Jordan. That's why it was called the Middle East, because you were going eastward, and it was midway between Britain and India. So that's where they came up with that term, and then they started using that term and then they started using that term. And it was a direction, and they tried to pass it off as being a nationality of people.
Turn into a land.
That's where that term comes from. If you look at it, India, and you were to start going easterly, north and easterly, you would end up in Europe, and you would end up in Britain. All right. So that was the midway between. All right, because if you went by land, all right, and there you go. So that's when they came up with that bullshit. But so what you're looking at is a map of Asia and Israel. That's why you got some of these Kemet people or these Moors call themselves Black Asiatic men, because they knew that Saudi Arabia, Yemen, Iraq, Jordan, Israel, Turkey, Iran all sits in Asia. That's where they one of the bros, one of the guys that came up with me, he named his daughter Myasia.
Wow.
And just sent her off to college. Oh my God! But
Hey,
anyway.
that's why somebody.
Right, she's gorgeous too, and I'm like, damn man, why you just fucked up, right?
That's why when
You just sent her off to Slut Academy.
that's why bodybuilders like from Arabia, when they get into the bodybuilder competition, they in the Asian league.
Yeah,
It
so
don't say Middle East, it say Asian. league.
exactly. There it is, Mike Allah. That's it. So so all of this is just to lie, to hide the truth. All right. So they came up with this Middle East shit, and that's a complete and total lie. They'll say that well, he's Middle Eastern. He's olive colored. Motherfucker, so he's green like the map of Saudi Arabia? Because olives are green. There's no skin complexion like that. You got olives that are green, you got olives that are black.
Bring it up.
So if you say he's olive complected, well, all the people in that area, guess what? They were just as dark as the Africans.
But it's funny because it did come up with a color, and it's just brown. But they do have an olive tone that is brown, and they try to say that
That's some shit they making olive brown. I mean, they making olive. You can't make green brown.
Exactly.
Right.
All right. So because an actual olive is either the dark olive or it's the green olive. So that's just them playing with words and playing with shit.
Then they try to make Swarty like a real light-skinned person.
How you gonna? So they gonna take swarthy and make it complete opposite of what it meant.
Yeah.
Wow.
They trying to do that.
Unfucking believable.
Oh, now they trying to do melanated. We got a look when the so-called white person said, "Oh, we got a little bit melanated, so we're melanated." Like,
So
no.
these are all revised
Mhm.
lies. Just like when you see a book that's been it's the fifth edition revised, the sixth edition revised. Revised means that they're trying to cover up and hide shit and they're changing shit
Law
because
books do that shit.
you know.
Law books do that shit all the
And
time.
that map only like 14 bucks on Amazon. I highly suggest. Well, they were saying that one you can find it for cheaper than that. That was $24.
Because melanated.
Brothers, y'all need to have that. Cause that matter of fact, so much I want to start putting it in my bag.
Yeah.
Because it's smaller than plastic, so it fit right in your bag and pop this shit out on the street and cut the shit out. You know. These
the
lying
word,
ass pieces of shit. Go
I
ahead.
got
brother.
scripture.
Yep, there you go.
I got two scriptures real quick. This is going to be Job 24 and 2. Some remove the landmarks. They violently take away flocks and feed thereof. And then I've got another one here that's Deuteronomy 27 and 17.
Spirit.
It says, "Cursed is he that removeth his neighbor's landmark, and all the people shall say, Amen."
Right. So when Alexander went on his conquering campaign, all right, all Asia is named after his brother. After Edomite Roman citizen general named Scipio Asiaticus, and then Africa, which is east of Asia, all right, is named after Scipio Africanus, all right. And so both of them are named for the namesake of a so-called white man. They removed landmarks and they changed names. All right. So that's what they did. And then through rape, robbery, and murder, they lightened everyone up in those areas. All those people got lightened up. You know, the Chinese, their images of them just going back a couple hundred years, they were very, very dark. All right. But over the years, they've been lightened up by the influx of Edomites. And Edom is small. But yet, look at Romania, Bulgaria, Ukraine. That's where the Edomites were. All right, up there. And they got forced up there to the Caucasus. Matter of fact, you see the Caucasus Mountains just above Asia. That's where they got chased into. And they went those Caucasus Mountains being all quest for fire and shit. During the Dark Ages.
Even
All right?
a caveman can do it.
they were up in the Caucasus Mountains. You're looking at it right above, to the east of Georgia, above Armenia. All right, that's where they were. They got chased into there. Job, the 30th chapter. Somebody can grab it. All right, and they got pushed up into there, and then around the mid, and then that's why the Khazars and stuff. They started coming out and conquering and ruling and taking over Hungary, Romania, all those areas. All right, and then the Khazars converted to Judaism and started following the same thing that their ancestors followed, before the fall of Rome. All right, and that's basically what happened. And then in the mid 1300s, they began to come back into power. All right. Because in all those areas, they came fully back into power. They started coming back into power, and they took over Romania, Ukraine, and and Hungary, and all those places. Because all the royal families that were living in those areas, and even further east and east northeast further into Europe, those were all Negroes, and the Edomites took that all over. All right, that's actual history. That's why you got images of black Madonnas all over Romania, Slovenia, and all those areas. Jake left so many all throughout Italy. Yep. Jake left so many relics they couldn't even destroy and hide them all.
Yep.
All right.
This is Job 30:1. But now they that are younger than me, have me in derision. Younger meaning less significant, whose fathers I would have disdained to have set with the dogs of my flock.
Because Esau will hump your dogs. His women will hump your dogs.
Yea, whereto might the strength of their hands profit me, in whom old age was perished. For want and famine, they were solitary, fleeing into the wilderness in former time, desolate and waste.
Right. That's why you got those tapestries, those 15th century tapestry of Jake defending castles in Germany, black people, kings, all right, defending the castles against marauding, stick-wielding cavemen. The wildmen.
Yep.
And what Esau tries to do is he tries to mix that wilding history with Viking history and say those were the Vikings. No. The Vikings were the same people as the people in the Iberian Peninsula, Spain, Britain, Ireland. Those swarthy Scots. Okay, well, go ahead.
Who cut up mallows by the bushes and juniper roots for their meat.
So that's your quest for fire. All right, you Google Quest for Fire. Watch the movie. All right, and they try to say that was 10,000+ years ago. No, that's that shameful spilling on your glory. That you're embarrassed that was when you went upon your belly. That curse fell upon you. Upon your belly you went. Right.
Daniel chapter 7, they changed the time and season.
God.
Where they make up a lie talking about, oh, this was 500,000 years ago, which is BS.
Earth ain't even that old.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
There's nowhere in documented history will Earth go back that far.
Right.
Just those fucking stupid ass numbers out.
Right.
Well, all that's to hide.
To hide.
And hide behind their lies and their pseudoscience. That to fit the narratives, all them false white superiority doctrines that they devised to hide this evidence and the truth of what we're bringing out right now. All right, and evolution and all that bullshit, because they elevated over everyone. So how you gonna elevate over one, but you're the only people that have to wear sunblock and wear them big ass hats to block the sun off the skin.
And then another thing,
I go in the sun, I get darker. You go in the sun,
You burn.
and you burn.
right. And then another thing, they said we come from apes and gorillas and shit, but we never retained the strength of the gorillas and shit. Or no babies that were born
Which is
with
retarded.
Which is retarded.
There's
yeah.
an image out there right now to show you how the average white person has a mouth that looks just like the apes.
Right.
The Negroes got, and the rest of the tribes and the other people all got thick lips. Arabs got thick lips. African women got thick lips. Negro got thick lips. Indian women got thick lips. All right. The Fiji women, the Hawaiian women, the Negro women, the so-called Hispanic women, the Native women, they all got thick, full lips. Esau the only one with them, with their round ape looking, exactly. So they're the one, and no, it's a meme of it.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and it's right on point.
Like Fauci.
You know,
Like a goddamn monkey.
they all look like they're about to say, bring out the scroll of the, the Beastman scroll.
I remember when I was a kid, like 5, this Edomite, she ended up getting sunburned. So she was burning up, and I just kept fucking with her, touching her on purpose, just having fun, laughing.
You were little because you didn't understand. You trying to figure out why me touching you when you in so much pain.
And she was
I
screaming
didn't
like,
hit you or nothing. I just stop that.
and she balled up like this, and I'm like, I don't know what the hell going on.
You were just a kid, right? Like, what's wrong with you? Fucking vampire,
Yep, Job 30:5. The day walk. It said they were driven forth from among men. They cried after them as after a thief.
Right, so Jake chased them being merciful. Jake could have just annihilated Esau, but that wasn't the prophecy.
Right.
Jake didn't have the same spirit that Esau had, Jake actually has a very merciful spirit, man. Compassionate, right. After they beat you down, they leave you alone. Esau, no. Esau got to,
Stomp you out. Bring you in the
Like that,
dust.
prophecy. The devil had to stick around for prophecy's sake.
Right, prophecy had to,
Right.
but they got chased into the mountains by Jake. That's how they became Caucasians. And Caucasian literally means cave dweller. They were the troglodytes. They're the only race of people. There's no other people in all this map. That's the old world. All right, when you look at the whole thing, that's Asia, Europe, and Africa. That's the old world, and there's no history of any group of humanity that lived in any of those places that ever lived in the caves, except for Esau Edom, because before he was in the Caucasus Mountains, he was in the mountains of Mount Seir. All right. So his dusty ass was always up in a cave, being a vampire, all in the damp, cold cave, not hiding from the sun. All right.
And now you want to block it.
Always trying to intermingle and marry with all these dark women around him, trying to get some color back into him.
Hey, and
Right.
It was crazy. Even now, when you even look up some of those words like Caucasian, you remember how we used to look it up? We used to say cave dweller from the
They
Caucasian.
changed it.
Yeah, I
They're
remember
revising
that
it.
one.
They
Yep.
changed it.
Revisions,
You
brother.
can't even- you can't even look it up.
It's called revisions, and a lot of the stuff that we used to look up and bring out, you know how they removed and scrubbed a lot of stuff from the internet.
Yep.
What was that stuff we used to look, Bacchus and all that Christmas stuff?
Right.
They used to show you all the damn basically child pornography and shit and all those Christmas celebrations. All that stuff has been removed. We can't look that stuff up anymore. You can barely see. And when they do give it to you, they give you such a small image, you can't really expand it to really see it, you know?
Right.
But we use, because once again, they were proud of all their history in the past. And now, the fact that the Hebrew Israelites are on the scene, the shameful spirit is upon their glory. They're ashamed of their history. All right? Well, you got people like DeSantis that want to, it's blackness indoctrination to our white children. They're ashamed of being white, and we don't want that taught in our school. So how is teaching our people real history hurtful to you? Oh, because you did this shit.
Right.
Now that means that actually legitifies what we're saying, that you got ill-gotten gains. All right? That you're in power because you raped, robbed, and murdered. Because the only thing they were really great at is rape, robbery, and murder. Theft. Identity theft. All right? And usury. All right? They'll create a fraud and then charge you interest on a fraud. That's what Title 4D is. All right? They'll create something that's fraudulent, force you into payments fraudulently, and then when you can't pay it, add interest to the fraud.
Right.
Fractional banking. This is the word Caucasian in the freedictionary.com. Says of relating to a racial group having light-colored skin, white. It says of being a human racial classification distinguished especially by very light to brown skin and straight to wavy.
So light to brown skin. Wow.
And including peoples indigenous to Europe, Northern Africa.
Because according to the white people, so that's them trying to hide, cover up shit. Because that's right there is interfering with their white superiority doctrines. All right, because according to them, if you white, you got a drop of dark blood, you're not white no more.
God, no.
Which is bullshit, because it goes to show you the fraudulence in their Job 13:4, please. It goes to show you the fraudulence that's put into their blood conduits when it comes to the so-called Native Americans.
Now,
How they kept the Negroes from being natives, even though a lot of the Negroes were natives. But if a white person had native blood from their mother, this blood quadrant shit, they allowed to participate in loans and land and payments for casinos, etc., etc. But if a so-called black person is the same thing, they can't get their native or their Gadite status. They can't get their ID card to say that they're American Native Indian. Right? But if you're white, you see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So it's a complete, it's like, wait a minute. All right, so I thought if you had one drop of Negro blood, you're not white no more. But right here, you're trying to say that you're brown. All right, or you will make certain people that come from West Asia, melanated people that come from West Asia, even from North Africa, and you will say that you make them come to America and say that they're Caucasian. So is that what he's trying? You see what I'm saying? Esau is full of shit. So how they gonna be, a Hamite or Arab from Cairo? But you white. But in America, if you got one drop of black blood, or Negro blood, you're not white no more. Which is it? You lying pieces of shit? Go ahead, brother.
This is Job 13:4. But ye are forgers of lies. Ye are all physicians of no value.
There it is.
All right, I got one. This
Bring it
Psalm
out,
58:3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They're like the deaf adder that stoppeth her ear. And that's that Revelation 12. It calls the Romans what? The devil, the old serpent.
Yeah.
All right, right here. This is the serpent that was in the garden, Esau, Edom. All right, the self-proclaimed white man who was really red. He's the devil the Bible speaks of. He got out his prison that the brother just read in Job 30. All right, he been loose for a little season to deceive the world again.
Yep.
All right.
Hey.
2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter. He went forth to deceive the nations.
That's
That
it.
man has been revealed. The son of perdition.
That's
Who
it.
is that?
Exactly.
That's Edom.
Exactly.
Who will be the last to rule? Mystery Babylon in Revelation is referred to as Edom. All right, in Psalms 137, 2nd Ezra 6, Lamentations 4. The last ruler over the Israelites will be Mystery Babylon, which it tells you plainly are the Edomites.
Exactly.
Man of sin solved, the mystery solved.
And it says in that Wisdom of Solomon how their mindset, the wicked, the ungodly's mindset, it says, let our strength be the law of justice.
That's right.
So whatever they just make up,
Where we
you know,
say, boy.
and yeah. And even if you wind up, you know, kind of thriving or flourishing through the madness of the system that they done set up, well, like you say, Elder, they'll just change the goalposts.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck what I say.
Right.
That nigga Chauncey,
Right.
I don't give a fuck what I say.
That's
Niggas
what they
don't
do
come
with
around
it.
here.
That's what they do with me in court right now, brother.
Right.
You know, they
kettle
keep
beans in the bowl,
changing the
boy.
goalposts.
That's right.
Goalposts.
They don't care what they say.
They said, well, yeah, you got us, but you know what? The rules changed yesterday.
Yeah. Or just not.
Just
You know what I'm saying?
Allah, you got us, but guess what?
Yeah, they do it all the time. What they science falsely called. They did with evolution. They got caught. Well, this wouldn't exist because how evolution works. They come with a whole new theory behind it. Well, it's not a. They come with rapid evolution now. And you just prove that they always come with a new theory to it, man. You know,
It's all vomit.
There's always some bald-faced, smooth-faced Edomite, you know, like Fauci, sitting up there with a wicked-ass smile on his face, telling some lies. Go ahead, brother.
So this Nahum 3:1, woe, which is destruction to the bloody city. It is full of lies and robbery. The prey departed not.
God, the prey depart not. All right, so we're gonna get on this whole Epstein Island thing and J.P. Morgan. All right.
You said they robbery, right? They steal a man's identity.
Oh yeah.
Change it up.
It says a man in his house, even a man in his heritage.
God damn, you can't even be you.
Exactly.
Right.
Can't nobody be whoever they are, man.
Right.
You
He's
know,
everybody.
he the Greeks, he the Hawaiians, he everybody.
The Last
You know?
Samurai.
Yeah, they made a movie. Look, the old movie Lawrence of Arabia.
Yeah.
You know, he was even Ishmael.
Damn.
All right, but we gonna get on this Epstein Island thing, all right? And these wicked ways, these ways of usury, all right? Because let's see if we can even find that. Somebody look up that case.
oh yeah, I found it. Ariella, just with us. Type U.S. Virgin. Type in J.P. Morgan sued by Virgin Islands.
Right, to get that, and also open another tab and look up the cocaine shipments on the J.P. Morgan ships.
Now that one.
And let's see if that story, because that story just got swept under the rug. Somewhere there's a rug with a big ass lump under it. People keep tipping and falling.
And it's getting smaller by the minute.
Right.
That's Joe Biden's son.
Oh damn.
He hitting that shit, boy. Motherfucker found the whole jab of coke in the White House. Was cameras everywhere, and nobody knows who left it right there.
Exactly. I even got white folks sending me memes talking about meanwhile in the White House.
Shit, that's why they call it white.
That's what they call it.
China white.
White girl house.
All white bricks.
Keep that white girl. Lindsay Lohan. Yeah, you can find the article. Type in Chase Cocaine Ship.
I put it in the words.
Chase cocaine shit.
Yeah, it popped right up.
So that means they got some shady
1.3
sub machine gun, you know, drug dealing dudes is dealing with J.P. Morgan, man. Sitting down at the table. So it makes me wonder, you know, did Jamie Dimon sit in on these meetings, or did he send somebody to represent him? That dark side of our banks. They send that person. Somebody got that job. They go deal with these, you know, with these entities. Whoever these people are, how they send a guy to, like the mobster or the drug dealer, the damn terrorist, gotta have somebody to represent them on their business side to make it look like they clean their money up and all that other shit.
Right.
What this is telling you is that what I just said is actually going on.
They showed you that Scarface.
All right.
He used to bring his money in, the banks used to clean it up for him.
Hey.
Yeah. What movie was Sean Penn his lawyer?
Oh, that's Carlito's Way.
Yeah, Carlito's Way. Right.
He was smart.
Same thing. Right. Sean Penn was playing Amalekite.
Yeah, he was the Amalekite.
Right.
Right.
He played the Amalekite. Right. And so he was the guy that was there to clean up the drug money.
Right.
Same thing in Deep Cover. You had Amalekite, Lawrence. You had Lawrence Fishburne. You had what's
Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum, a nigga though.
Yeah, he is.
That dude, Jake.
He
man.
is straight up Jake.
The fly.
You know, I mean, you had that in real life. You had the Iran Contra scandal and whatnot.
Tell them
There was a lot of businessmen involved in it. You're right. There was a lot of dudes, and I've been saying it for years. The most dangerous individuals on the earth are men in $1,000 suits, with in Italian-made suits, with
slick hair, bald face.
with slick back hair and a bald face. They American Psycho all day long with a pen.
And they use a Jake face to be the face of that shit.
It's like BLM and Antifa and all that other bullshit. Those are straight up white organizations with brown faces, so that when shit go upside down, it makes it look like Jake did it. Just like all those complete organized hits on the West Coast of all these Negroes going in these stores and cleaning them out. Those are all crisis actors, man.
Yeah.
And then Esau there with the camera. Meanwhile, all on TikTok and YouTube, Edomites are having nigga moments. White girls fighting in damn porta potties and shit.
Right.
Yeah. The Chicago mayor low-key said it. With the big break-in, it was a bunch of niggas at the 7-Eleven and shit.
Yeah.
So what's happening is, for one, these people are arriving randomly. These are teenagers. They're arriving randomly, and then somebody else gets the shit going, and all the blame gets put on these jakes. The mayor said, look, we're not going to say this is not mob action. He said it's not mob action. They was down there, and essentially, like, if you can read between the lines, yeah.
Right, exactly.
In so many words, you can pick up, like, well, clearly then, these niggas ain't playing, let's go downtown and do this, X, Y, Z. It get kicked off, and then them niggas go ahead and just start.
You got what do they call them?
Agent provocateurs.
Agent provocateurs.
Right.
Just like in those riots in England in 2011. And I'll never forget, how the one guy, they put the camera on him. He was wearing all black, but he had on white tennis shoes. And he grabbed the garbage can and threw it. He grabbed the brick and broke the window. And he was riled up, started hitting the cars. And when the people started getting riled up, and they started getting riled up, and then the police started fighting with the people. The police opened up, and that very dude with the hoodie on, he backed right up into the police line, and they closed up behind him on the other side of the line. So he was a cop, agent provocateur. Right?
Just like during
he got that shit, and they got caught on camera.
The 2020 shit. They called up the police. Had the pickup truck with the bricks.
Yeah.
They setting the bricks right outside the store so motherfuckers can have artillery
And
to
then
throw.
the white people all look at these niggers, there it is.
And there's a lot of footage like that on Ross Hip Hop. You had the Edomites that I believe it came out plainly they was funded by George Soros.
Yeah.
They was on the back of the U-Haul giving out equipment to niggas to get the shit going.
There you go. And then you had Edomites that actually lived when all that was happening downtown. You had Edomites that lived up and down Michigan Avenue and lived in what do they call that little area? Not the Gold Coast, but the place Streeterville. You had all the Streeterville people were out there with their cameras showing you this is shit. The white people are doing this shit.
That's it.
And blaming it on black people. You had white people filming this shit.
Right.
Saying these are white people doing all this spray painting and breaking these windows, and they're blaming it on black people.
Yeah.
So you had a whole bunch of videos that emerged of that. Man.
Like the AutoZone when the niggas is out there.
Oh yeah.
They stopped that. He's like, yeah, they doing this. He stopped them. Like, we have a peace. We have a peaceful protest. You getting this shit going.
And he recognized the cops too. He said, "Ain't that such?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Go ahead, brother.
This Revelation 12 and 20. Revelation 12 and 10. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now has come salvation and strength, and the kingdom of my power, and the power of his anointed. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our power day and night. So Esau, Edom, his whole job has been to make us the offscoring of the earth. All right, to make us a byword, to make us we can be looked at by the world as just a statistic of people that just do all this bullshit, man. That's his job, man. So we can be hated, just like in Judith, I believe. All right, they said, look, the reason why your kingdom is messed up is because you can find it. Yeah, it didn't happen more than once. The reason your kingdom is messed up is because this people, they don't regard no law. They don't regard nothing. It's the Israelites' fault.
Esther,
Yes, and Esther as well. Yep.
What's it? Categorical means to put in a category. So he put you Jake's all in the same category.
Yep.
But when it come out of him, they all ain't like that though.
Yeah.
He project. He's doing what's
And that's
called
something.
Projecting.
He projecting. It's funny because when you watch movies like New Jack City, what was dude? What was they saying? Am I my brother's keeper? What was the other movie? Dude was called Kang. All right. A lot of these movies that he coming out with, the villain is what? A nigga. You know what I'm saying? And a nigga in purple too. You know what I'm saying? It's a nigga. You had Kang the Conqueror. Then you had the nigga, the High Evolutionary. You got a lot of movies like that where they put the nigga as the mastermind, but he really projecting who the fuck he is, man.
I got you. It's St. John 8:44.
Yeah.
You have your father the devil, and the lust of your father you will do.
Yeah.
He was a murderer from the beginning, so we know the devil has a physical counterpart on earth. And what did the Lord tell Cain? You should be the ruler of sin. So there's a man on this earth, as the scriptures tell us, the prince of the power of the air. And Yahweh Shah called that same man a prince of this world, which who was ruling at that time? The Romans. So Esau Edom is the descendants of Cain. He is the devil, right?
There you go.
He was a murderer from the beginning and abode not in the truth because there is no truth in him. Here's the point. When he speaketh the lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. That's he projects. So Esau is pointing the finger, but he's talking about himself the entire time, man.
Right.
Who's the biggest drug dealers are Edomites. And when you watch Wolf of Wall Street,
Snowfall. I'm watching Snowfall. This shit is blowing me away, man.
yeah,
Right? So the whole crack epidemic was all planted by Edomites, the CIA,
yeah.
and government officials.
Well, before it was crack, it was free base, and niggas ain't playing around with chemicals and mixing it with the waste they few bucks they got to get this portion just right to figure out, well, I can make this cocaine smokable. They not finna waste it. They can't waste it because they trying to get high.
Right.
Secondly, all right, there are more heathens that do those hard drugs than niggas. All right, when you watch Wolf of Wall Street, when you watch, it's a show called Black Tuesday, I believe it's called, with Don Cheadle, and it shows that Wall Street was fueled off of cocaine, man.
Yep.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Hey, look, man.
Yeah.
When
And
I worked on the Gold Coast years ago, there was a dude named Victor. I ain't go, say his last name like that, nothing like that. But Victor was a high-ranking Latin king who went to prison and came out and became a cook, and he worked in the spot with me, and you would think that he was making up the little dishes for all them rich, wealthy Jewish people, because they were the main customers in this place. It was a very high-end place, all right, and the whole that was all the front. They were getting all their coke and their weed from Victor. So basically he was literally like the king of the Gold Coast, man.
What's that show? 3.5 Men.
So and every time these fake Jews, they always wanted a token. I was the token.
Right.
All right. And then when I would go to their parties, man, look, I walked into a room, one of those luxury ass apartments, and I've never seen coke in my life until that day. All right. And I opened the door and walked in, and literally there was just lines and lines of this shit on the table, and everybody that came in was doing that shit. And they was like hitting. I was like, I don't even know how to do that. I'm like, saying, you got a drink?
Right.
All right. I ain't never needed nothing more than alcohol, man.
Yeah.
But this shit was all, and that shit weirded me out, man. I was like, man, I ain't about to do that shit. You got fags walking around this motherfucking shit.
Well, yeah, and every nigga knows that Esau Edom is more into that
That's
shit.
what they do.
They're into that shit. They that's what they all. Yeah, just recently, niggas
Right, white boy racing.
pill popping recently, just over the last 15 years, gained popularity with niggas, man.
Right.
That was always Esau shit. Niggas, yeah.
Yeah, and I seen
Charlie Sheen.
Man, I seen that shit in the Marine Corps, man. Edomite dudes would get drunk, throw up, and then drink some more. I'm like, bro, you just threw up all over yourself. You know?
They Romans. They had a.
They would drink until he throw up.
Yeah.
And sitting over there and then threw up all over himself, nigga, wake up and drink some more. I'm like, what the fuck?
Well, you in Rome, you had a.
Nigga, you trying to die?
Yeah.
You had a vomitarium. You had the vomitarium in
Yeah,
Rome.
sure did, sure did.
And what they would do is they'll gorge themselves until they can't eat no more, and then they'll vomit just so they can eat some more. And when you were talking, I was thinking about that one white boy, Charlie Sheen.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, Charlie Sheen a nigga, man.
Mr. A's.
Yeah.
A's character.
Yeah,
He a nigga, man.
Yeah. But that nigga was like, I was banging 7 gram rocks.
Yeah, he a damn just a bugged out ass nigga who wanna be white so bad.
That's what Edomite.
Exactly.
But yeah, they was down there like
But then,
that.
you know, that's what's his name? Martin Sheen, and their name is not Sheen. Their name is Estevez, right? Because Emilio refused to take the Sheen name. He was like, no. And then Martin Sheen actually said that in the interview. He said that if he had to do it all over again, he would have kept his. He let you know he was trying to pass for being white because he thought his career would go further. He didn't want them to know that he was Hispanic and all that other stuff.
Right.
Right.
But yeah, like you said, like Elder was saying though.
And look, and they didn't get away from the curses. They got all kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the Elder was saying. 86, 87, 88. I was down there in that downtown area like that, man. Like you said, certain clubs you could go into, be lit up.
Yeah, and then that pill popping shit hit real hard in the early 2000s.
Right.
Yeah, that's when that shit hit hard, man.
But Esau had been on it.
Yeah.
But Esau had been on it.
I heard about Molly's
movie. That movie, Painkillers. You know that's on
Oh,
Netflix.
yeah.
I'm gonna peep it, brother.
Yeah.
I ain't started on it.
It's going into the
Yeah, they been.
I remember,
niggas didn't know about Vicodin. Esau been on Vicodin back in the
Right,
90s.
they
they was
started
on
rapping
that
about
shit.
that shit.
They figured that out in the fucking 70s off the ball players first, and this, that, and the other. And then it was like, yo, let me get some of that. Let me get some of what the ball player got. And this, that,
Yeah,
and the other.
man.
Yeah, another thing, how you know it's all.
And all that shit is funneled through places like this, J.P. Morgan.
Hey,
They're all behind that type of shit.
it's in the medical industry too. Like cocaine, you got something called medical grade cocaine, and what they use it for is
Codeine.
Yeah,
That's the codeine.
But they
No.
use it for anesthetics too,
heroin.
like the shit that numb your mouth.
Yeah.
Aspartame, what they call it?
Lidocaine.
Lidocaine.
Lidocaine,
It's-
right.
They use the part of it, the numbing agent, and it's really cocaine that numb your mouth. Because when you see the drug movies, what they do, they take the coke and they
And
rub
rub it on
their
your
mouth
teeth and
because it
whatnot, right.
make their mouth numb, and that's how they know how strong it is. And yeah, when you get the codeine, the
I was wondering
Tylenol,
what they were doing. I
yeah,
know.
they saying that
That's what
how
it is.
good it is, how numb it
How
makes their
numb.
mouth.
So as soon as they touch it, it's like my shit went numb immediately.
Yeah,
Right, right, that's how they
shit,
know.
'cause it numb
Painkillers.
like
Wow, I didn't know that.
Painkillers.
Tylenol
Going
threes.
into all
That is right.
I'm a peeper, brother.
The Tylenol 3s,
Right.
man, all of that.
Tylenol 3's got
It's
poppies in it. It got heroin in it.
It's opiates. It's
Yep.
opiates.
Oxycontin.
Yep.
The Oxycontin is an opiate. You know.
Yeah, morphine.
The 3 6 Mafia used to rap about the Oxycontin. Little white men used to rap about the Oxycontin. The pills you get over the counter. This Esau selling to you legally.
That's it,
Then
pharmaceutical.
the Ritalin. Ritalin is heroin.
They start mixing this shit
Yeah.
in drinks
All of those
and
was heroin.
pops.
And
It's
making
all
it-
heroin.
And then that's why they called it lean.
Yeah, you get
Because by the
the
time your ass was
heroin
leaning,
lean.
by the time
It's the heroin thing.
There is not a name
It's the
trying to
same lean,
Yeah.
like from the Xanax to the.
why would you want to do that, man? You can't bone. You,
Right. You just go.
Niggas get
Right.
feelings on
right, you with a bad bitch and y'all both just
Right.
slumps.
Leaning.
looking at each other and shit.
That's
And it's a marvel how you don't fall
Right.
over.
Like damn,
First.
If my dick would get hard, I would, you know. But
That's the heroin.
I'm just feeling good and fucked up right now. Who wants to live, man? Come
Right,
on, man.
right, yeah.
You know, it's funny
Yeah.
you said that. I saw a female on TikTok, and she was sitting there. Had the umbrella open. It was raining, and she was leaning over, and things had fell asleep, standing up, leaned over. Old boy walked up on her and said, "Hey, baby, you okay?" She, you like
Yeah, I'll see them downtown.
full sleep.
Maybe
Full
sleep right in front of the store window, be like this. I'm like, man, you all right? Oh, yeah, man.
That shit crazy, man. Brother, go ahead and read what you got, brother. We gonna read this article and get a few scriptures and shut it down.
Okay. Habakkuk 2:15. Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, that puttest thy bottle to him, and makest him drunken also, that thou mayest look on their nakedness.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they do. They make a clown of you, and then like it's just like you know, Elder Uriah say how they have those tour buses that go through the hood with them darked out windows, right? You know, and then look at this, look at them. People actually pay for them hood tours.
Hood charters.
They call them hood safari.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah, because basically you're an animal, you know. Let's go look at the monkeys, you know.
Yeah. Concrete jungle.
Thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered.
Hey,
The cup-
critical race history?
Facts.
You know,
Critical race historical facts,
yeah,
brother.
yeah.
No such thing as critical race theory.
Yeah,
That's
right.
bullshit.
This past tense is already
Right?
happened.
It's critical race historical facts. Like and subscribe.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right.
Yep, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory.
Kind and we're part of that. That's prophecy coming to pass. We're shameful spawn upon that glory. So it says the New York CNN, the U.S. Virgin Islands is seeking $190 million in penalties and disgorgement from J.P. Morgan Chase and requesting that it implement safeguards against human trafficking in its ongoing case, alleging the bank benefited financially from disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein's sex trafficking operation and failed to report suspicious activity. So how is it saying allegedly? Because did they not get the money? Did they not transfer and use the money? So how did they not benefit?
Right.
All right. See that's another thing. The language. Esau likes to use language to try to disingenuous language that kind of releases him for any responsibility for the things he's done.
Yep.
That's how they taught us history. All right. Like, you know, the Pilgrims came over and they just built shit.
Right.
Right. But it says the government in the Virgin Islands said in a court filing it also wants J.P. Morgan Chase to implement an independent compliance consult to prevent human trafficking and separate its business from compliance functions. And we still, you know, what about the cocaine ship? All right.
here.
It says Esau was Epstein. Well, he was Esau. Epstein was found dead in the jail cell in 2019, which was a distraction for you know. And that, which is why they launched the pandemic in 2020, because this right here was shameful spewing upon their glory. This was that secret council being brought forth. It said Epstein was found dead in the cell in 2019. It was later ruled a suicide. So this shit coming out was too much to bear on Esau Edom, a so-called white man, being that half of Hollywood, the Pentagon, and all these actors and government officials were all involved in this shit. All their names was on these lists. All right, so they needed a major distraction. You know what? Hey, we need something to happen. Put some masks on these niggas' face. Tell them they can't go outside. You know, they needed a major distraction, boy. Immediately. All right. Philadelphia, the U.S. authorities seized a cargo vessel in June with nearly 20 tons of cocaine on board. If they had meant to 20 tons, it was more than that.
3 tons.
All right, 20 tons is a lot of fucking. All right.
Over $1 billion is street value, it said.
It says the ship, as it turns out, is owned by a fund run by banking giant J.P. Morgan Chase.
There it is.
All right. Well, we didn't really need to read no more, man, because you can only, like I said, that means that somebody was sitting down at a table in business rooms with dudes who tote semi-automatic, fully automatic submachine guns and shit. People who be slitting throats and giving Colombian neckties the ruthless ass motherfuckers.
That's,
All right?
That's 40,000 pounds of booger sugar.
40,000 pounds of booger sugar. All right. So the amount of death, rape, robbery, murder, prostitution, and things that are connected to that, and not to mention that J.P. Morgan is also directly connected to slavery. All right. They were insuring, slave ships and slaves and all this other bullshit, man.
Right.
So this is truly shameful spewing upon their glory, man. All right, grab that Isaiah. Was it 29:15? What you got, brother?
Hey, so what they supposed to? We supposed to believe now that that's all that shit sitting in a fucking room.
Right. That's in right. So who's
who's holding cell?
Right. What they call it? The evidence room.
Evidence room. Right.
Whose evidence is holding 20 tons of cocaine?
Right.
It's an old ass copy of base and just wait somebody.
Because you best believe that shit that shit got spread around to Hollywood and all these. Yeah. That's definitely. And I can only imagine J.P. Morgan probably got some hidden,
Christmas
facility
party.
somewhere.
Right.
That shit
Absolutely.
is, because this story, just like the Epstein story, got swept under the rug. Epstein story got covered up and over because they all of a sudden they was like, launch BLM, launch Antifa, put masks on their faces, and right. So everybody was so. Right. Meanwhile, all these Edomites who are actually really fucking little kids and little girls that were on Epstein's islands, they put R. Kelly face up. So you forgot about that list, that long list of celebrities in Hollywood that was directly connected to this shit, who probably was doing some of this cocaine when they were doing it. Bastards. Right. I'll take
The dude got 5 years
lines.
of prison for all this. It was 8 people charged. One nigga got 5 years, 10 months for this. So you don't get all this cocaine that's on 8 people involved. Right. And how does this man manage to only get 5 years?
So 8 people move 20 tons of cocaine.
Painkillers.
Painkillers. Right.
I'm watching 6 episodes.
Quick preset.
I'm on it, brother. But go ahead.
This is Sirach 13:3. The rich man
Well, that's a spirit.
Oh my man.
Let's go ahead.
It says the rich man hath done wrong, yet he threateneth withal. The poor is wronged, and he must entreat also. So like you can get caught with all this yay, and it's like, oh fuck you, yeah we did it, slap on the wrist, but let you go 2 miles over a speed limit in the speed zone on the street, you pay taxes on it, you get smacked with $100 ticket.
Nah, that's if you're lucky. You might get knees in your back and taser.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's just crazy.
Stop resisting. Stop resisting.
Right.
I'm not resisting, man.
Right.
Something that they would have hit Jake over the head with life. You know what I'm saying?
Draconian.
They give
You get 3-4 rocks. I think you get what was 5 years for each rock or 7 years for each rock.
Some shit they created.
Exactly.
And Biden would play a big role in that.
It used to be like 5 rocks was like equivalent to like maybe.
You got 25 years for 5 rocks.
Yeah.
5 little ass rocks, bro.
But you get them up, motherfucker, you got 5 pounds of Peruvian flake. If they
These niggas had 20 tons and only got 5 years.
Peruvian flake. Do you understand how much they can step on that and stretch that out?
$1.
On Google it says cocaine, heroin, methamphetamine 15 grams to 100 grams, felony up to $500,000, fine, and 6 to 30 years.
6 to 30 years. They start putting that Class X out there. I'm telling you.
And this man got 5 years.
Yeah.
Class X.
He gonna be straight too. Whoever he working for, he gonna have money on his books.
And he's not gonna do the whole.
He gonna do 6 months.
Look, and he gonna come home. He gonna have a luxury apartment,
Exactly.
a condo, a badass car, and a bad bitch,
That's it.
or 2.
Exactly.
To do cocaine right off his ride.
Exactly.
And he on house arrest.
And he gonna be unalive because he know too much. That's coming after.
Yeah.
Nah, he low level. He don't know shit.
Nah, he don't know enough to
He on
touch
the boat.
anybody, but what they will do.
If that was the case, say they got rid of him in prison.
Right there it is.
Just like Freeway Rick Ross, that nigga still free and talking shit. They ain't touching him. He ain't worth it. They don't care.
Exactly.
Right. Get that Isaiah 29.
I got it.
And we gonna wrap it up, bro.
Isaiah 29:15, it says, "Woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord Yahweh, and their works are in the dark. And they say, Who seeth us? And who knoweth us? Surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. For shall the work say of him that made it, He made me not? Or shall the thing framed say of him that framed it, He had no understanding?"
And see, he's exposed now. I mean, Luke 8:17 clearly tells you, brother, that everything that's done in the dark shall come to the light.
That's
Right.
right.
And so with that, man, we're gonna give all praises, all honor and glory
To Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash.
Wow, Bible ball.
Bible ball.